All right, so we are back with part 2 of day 2's training on how to use ChatGPT. And as I mentioned earlier in the first part of this training, which I posted earlier today, we got into using the ChatGPT prompt prompt extension from AIPRM. Now we're going to get into seasoning, what some people call seasoning, what some people call training. I like to refer to it as using a knowledge base. You think of it as doing research beforehand, but at the end of the day, and I apologize for the air conditioner just kicked on, you might hear it in the background, but it's been really hot here in Cali. So what I'm going to do is show you 3 different ways that you could do that to try to get better outputs, better results from ChatGPT. Okay, so the first way, and open up my notepad file here, is what I like to call the Q&A method. So what you do is you respond or tell ChatGPT, I want to start a business using your technology. I want to take advantage of it, but not sure where I want to start. Please ask me questions so you can help me to the best of your ability figure this out. It's very simple. 3 sentence statement here, or phrase here we're going to put into ChatGPT. When you do that, it basically is going to season itself. So what it's going to do here now is going to start to ask a few questions, and what you would want to do is you would want to answer these questions. For example, what industry or sector are you interested in for your business? Do you have any specific ideas or concepts? So because I entered a question that was pretty vague, it's kind of all over the place. What I would do is I would be more specific when entering this first phrase, this Q&A method that I like to call. So I want to start a business using your technology. I want to take advantage of it, but not sure where to start. So I want to start a business using your technology, ChatGPT, to earn around $1,000 per week. So I gave it more information. I want to take advantage of it, but we're not sure where to start. Please ask me questions so you can help me to the best of your ability figure this out. I do have a laptop, cell phone, and internet connection, and can dedicate at least 10 hours per week to do this. So now we'll resubmit that, and when you give it more information, it'll come back with better questions to ask you, right? So it's going to start to narrow down more and be more descriptive in its response to you, I guess you could say, more informative. So sure, I'd be happy to help you explore options for starting a business using ChatGPT. Here are a few questions to get started. What are your areas of expertise or interest? Are there any specific industries or subjects you feel knowledgeable or passionate about? Have you considered the type of service or product you'd like to offer using ChatGPT? For example, providing customer support, content generation, language translation, or something else entirely. So by doing that and then answering these questions, you're going to get a much better response from ChatGPT. So this is what I like to call my Q&A method, by presenting a scenario to ChatGPT and then telling it, look, this is what I would like to do, but I don't know how to get started or where to start. Can you please ask me some questions to help me kind of filter this out or drill this down to get going on this idea. So now that was the first method, Q&A method. The second method here, I like to call it the lightly seasoned or seasoned lightly method. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this statement here, and I made a copy of it already, and we're going to try to answer this and fill it out and give ChatGPT a little bit more information from the get-go. It's very similar, but you'll see a little bit of a twist. I want to X, but not sure where to begin. Can you please ask me questions so you can help me to the best of your capabilities figure this out, and then formulate a plan with actual goals and deadlines to implement X. You can ask me as many questions as you like in order to help me achieve my goals to the best of your abilities. So I want to start a sound healing certification business, but not sure where to begin. Can you please ask me questions so you can help me help me to the best of your capabilities figure this out, and then formulate a plan with actual goals and deadlines to implement my sound healing certification program. So here we're giving it a sense of direction already, but still using the play on the Q&A method to have it ask us questions to try to drill this down more or fish this out more, whatever you want to call it. So here we go. You can ask me as many questions like. So now we're going to take this, now that we filled in those 2 blanks, and this, what we're doing is called prompting. We're taking this phrase, which is basically a prompt, and asking ChatGPT to help us. And this is what many people would refer to as prompting. So I'm going to start a new conversation. Always start new conversations when they're a completely different subject matter or topic, because eventually it will run out of tokens, it will run out of memory, and then it's going to start to hallucinate. Hallucinate means when it doesn't know, like it's not making sense, doesn't know how to respond, because the way it was built to try to predict what you're asking with its response. It's trying to formulate an answer based on the data that it has. And so remember I said that it does never create nothing new. It never creates anything new. It's just going to give you a different way to formulate the recipe or the answer for what it is you're trying to do. But there's no new information that ChatGPT is going to create for you. It's just going to take existing information and kind of just put its own spin on it and serve it out. So now let's go ahead and paste this in, this prompt, right? We're no longer using the prompts from AIPRM, right? All these choices here, we're creating our own prompts now. And then we're going to hit enter, or the little green arrow. And so here it comes back now, and it's asking us questions related to the specific business idea I want to start. And notice that it's giving us even more in-depth, longer series of questions here. Okay, so this is really good because now we're starting to get on a path of clarity. We're starting to go down a path, like a roadmap, to be able to achieve our goals with regards to what it is that we want to do. And again, the more detailed you are, the more information you give ChatGPT, the better it's going to serve you. And if you don't know what information and details to give it, then say, hey, look, I want to do this, but I just don't know how to do it. Can you ask me questions to help me so we can get this done, so I can do this, so I can formulate a plan to get this done with goals and deadlines, etc., etc. And it will spit that out for you, just like it did here. So that's the second way of seasoning, or lightly seasoning, I should say. So the first way was the Q&A method. The second way was a play on the Q&A method, where we called it lightly seasoning by giving it a little bit more information, just like a dash of salt. And now the third way is where we really go in and season it by doing what I call a knowledge-based dump. So here, I want you to help me come up with offers for my sound healing business that I can offer to local brick and mortar businesses, individuals, and entrepreneurs who may have a high level of stress type of environment, or daily work environments where they could use a sound bath to de-stress or decompress, sort of a reset, and to get back into balance and harmony. I'd like for you to come up with offers that the entrepreneurs, business owners, presidents, and CEOs of these companies would appreciate and like to offer their employees. So this goes on and on. I'm explaining to it what I want to do. I'm giving it now more of a knowledge base. Again, some people refer to this as seasoning. You can refer to this as training. You can also refer to it as giving it research if you do some research. And here, we're going to go ahead and just give it all this information about the business that we're trying to run, what it is, who we are, the services that we can provide. And then I even back it up with, here's an article I wrote on how even the medical and scientific world view and back sound healing principles. So I'm even giving it some scientific data, some proof, some evidence. Okay, so when you take something like this, I tend to call this more of a knowledge-based dump method. So you're taking all this knowledge and you're just dumping it into ChatGPT to help you figure this part out. So we're going to copy that whole thing. Remember, I'm going to start a new conversation, because we want to, it's like starting a recipe all over again. If you don't remember, which ingredients you put in there, and you're trying to compensate and go, I don't remember if I put enough salt, or I don't know if I remember your baking, if I put enough, baking powder, or whatever. It's better to just trash that batch and just start from scratch. So that way you know exactly what you put into the recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and just paste that in here. And remember, we are prompting ChatGPT, and we're prompting it with this knowledge-based dump, I like to call it. So I'm giving it the instructions. I want you to help me come up with offers. That's the main instruction. Come up with offers for my sound healing business that I could offer local brick and mortar businesses, entrepreneurs, individuals, if you will, that need to gain benefit from sound healing or aren't even aware of what sound healing can do for them. So here we go. We're going to click this go button, or enter button, or send message button as it's labeled here. And ChatGPT is going to read all that information, and watch how fast it's going to come back after it read all that information. It's going to come back really quick and help us provide some packages that we can offer to local brick and mortar businesses, some offers. So let's see what it came up with. Based on the information you provided, here are some offers you can consider for your sound healing business. Sound bath experience for employees, sound healing workshops and training, corporate sound healing packages, stress reduction programs, wellness retreats or off-site sound healing experiences, sound healing consultations, sound healing certification programs. Now, some of those we're already doing, but some of them I probably would never have thought of, or maybe we already are implementing, but we don't refer to them that way. So this is a really good way to continue to fish out, continue to give ChatGPT information and train it with your seasoning, your Q&As, or your knowledge-based dumps. So I hope this helps you to start to formulate better results out of ChatGPT, to further allow you to start to think about ways to monetize it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll have some more videos coming up. Tomorrow will be day 3. This is part 2 of day 2. May God, Source, Creator, Great Spirit, the universe bless you. Take care and have an awesome weekend.